we've got a few more flags in down this bit now. The front is all the way, and I've just put the last couple at this end. Then we're going to go on to a different system when we get onto where the old drive was. But because they were in, and we did those a few days ago, we've actually managed to also put some rubbly hardcore stuff down the centre so that we're not having to fill the whole thing with concrete. So that's now got a sort of 80 to 100 mil of concrete to go on top to bring it up to the flag, to the pegs. You'll notice these couple of flags at the front here are actually higher than the pegs. There's a couple of other ones as well that are slightly higher, but we've made sure wherever they are that we've got a clearance to the loco and track, so it'll all miss. So these ones actually come slightly further forwards so that they follow this line a little bit and then creep back towards the line at the top here. And then down the bottom we haven't yet got these ones concreted in, we've just done those few that end. I've just done a couple here to retain this bit of soil because we're
I hadn't even noticed those.
Oh, well, there you go, look.
I'm stood here looking at it and I didn't even notice those. Oh, nice.
So yeah, they've just got a little bit in just to hold them basically roughly in place, and then when we concrete up, they'll obviously stay put because they'll have concrete up relatively high on them. That was just stop the concrete going off into that bit of soil. So yeah, so these ones all need a little bit of concrete under, mainly just to tip them up. Once that's done, then just like we've done over there, the slate can be pushed back towards it. So then, now we're on to this bit where the path crosses. So if I step over here. So the other job that I've done while doing all these few things is these edgings down our drive. They'd dropped over time. Wasn't me that put them in, can't blame me. So I have gone through and just brought these back up. I wanted to do that because when we do this section across here, we're already having to slope up to it, so there was no point having it dip down then slope up. It might as well have come flat from the drive, and I've actually tilted these ever so slightly, so they're already starting to head up, so that when you put slate on, it will just do a smooth ramp up to there, is a sort of thinking there. So I've done a section along there, which we'll see in a second, but now we've got to work out how to get across here. So I'm not going to bring the stone edgings across because the slate's going to want to be up here anyway, so you can walk across it, so there's no point putting stone edges on it. We might as well just concrete it, but to do that you've got to have something to contain the concrete, and we don't want to be concreting up against a load of slate because slate doesn't make a nice edge. So I'm using the lawn edgings that we've used round the back previously. Now I was hoping I had more than these two left, but I only have two. So I'm only going to use these for where it's curving here, and then this peg we're not heading towards anymore. This one just has to move across a little bit because we're straightening this section slightly, which means I can use a bit of wood to just fill in here and here to get us where we're heading. So I can get around that. So I'm putting these in because we're going through very hard ground under here that's been compacted by slate over a long time. I'm actually stabbing the screwdriver in with the lump hammer, making a bit of a hole. Then if I pull that out, grab one of the pegs. These are the pegs it actually came with, and try to get the thing started. That into there.
That does give you an idea of how hard the ground is.
Yeah. And that goes into there, so I'll just have to play about with the rotation of it a little bit. And what I'm probably going to do in a second is we have our hidden screw, which I have spotted.
It's
just over there.
Somewhere in that bit of slate there.
Yeah.
It doesn't show on camera, or not on the tiny screen on the camera.
That's our radius for this. It was going to be radius all around here, but obviously we're straightening it. So it's my radius to about here somewhere. So I will just put that on there and just see whether I get these roughly right. We're not we don't have to be too precise with it, but it wants to look sort of like we know what we're doing. So they'll go something like that. So I'll continue to put those pegs in there in a second. I'm not too worried about this bit here, I don't think, because I think the concrete will just drop back down, but I wanted that soil to ramp up, which is why I put those in. They might be slightly low. It'll all work its way out, it's fine. So yeah, so we've done that bit. So now if the camera wants to come round to this side,
without standing on anything.
Yes, don't stand on my blocks, Nikki, having already done so.
I might have done.
Just before filming.
I might have done, right.
Thankfully they are fairly
set. Yeah.
So then at this side of the path, I've put these two in. They're just on a tiny bit of concrete currently, but obviously there's going to be concrete up to here on them, which will hold them back. They're just retaining this little bit of garden here. As we get onto here, we should be fine to just have concrete, I think, height wise, but we need to get the pegs in and just check. Well, we're going to have to be fine because I haven't got enough stone to go up there, so it's going to have to work. But hopefully you can now see that I've gone all the way up here, raising these blocks up, and so then the line's going to sit, I reckon, somewhere out here, and we'll just slope the concrete down to here. So it will have a concrete edge on it. I'm hoping if I can just get it just below these blocks, where it comes down to meet them, that I can then ballast, and that will just sit either flush with the blocks or just below it, so that you don't see any of the concrete. That's the thinking along there. So yes, we need to get the pegs into here, and then I've come all the way along and done a bit of a curve through this bush and hacked this back so that we've got a route out of there. But all this needs leveling and checking, and then we're all into this bit, and all that needs checking as well.
Yeah, which is going to be fun on this bit because the plants are probably going to get in the way of the laser line, so we may have to.
They are a little bit.
Move the laser line.
But we're 200 mil. We might be all right. I think we'll see it.
Yeah.
If not, I'll just have to do a bit of deadheading and lower it a bit.
Be fine.
Yeah, I might have to take a little bit more out of here, but I'm trying to keep it as small as possible because I don't want to take too much of the garden away.
No.
Because it is a garden railway. You kind of do need to keep some garden.
Of this sort of wild garden that stands over.
Well, yep. So then there is one other little job we did over by the bridge, which I'll show you now. Down in this little corner, by all the bridges that we're going to have in this little section, the red aluminium bridge is now supported. It's still sat on the wood because I don't want to knock it off, but we have an aluminium frame put underneath it that the screws drop into. It's sort of all bent, and then we've just sort of cemented it in a little bit so it's nice and strong, is the theory. So in theory this frame can go away now, but I'm going to leave it put just for the time being because I don't want to kick the bridge and break this off. This is just a little bit of extra support, so I will leave it be until I need to come and put the track down here probably, then I'll take it away. All that really needs to happen now is we need to extend rails on obviously along here, which means putting the tile adhesive mix onto here, but we'll get a load more concreted and all the rest done before we get anywhere near doing that. We did, however, run the track up to the other end of the bridge down there, which might not be in exactly the right position, but we ran it because we knew some madman would want to run a loco right to the end of the bridge, which is exactly what this madman did. Not me, another one. So it's been about a week and a bit, but obviously this was set now, and actually it doesn't look too bad, to say that we did, well, this section of it in the dark. Obviously it's a little bit of an eyesore currently, but once it gets the track on and ballasted in and plants grow up and over it sort of thing, I think it'll look fine. We still need to complete a little bit there, which we might do a bit of today, but there's a more pressing area we need to do at the minute, which is over here. So follow me. Oh yeah, over here.
You daft bugger.
So, this section is what we're going to work on now. So this will be a station in here where the line comes around and comes into. And I wasn't 100% sure how I was going to do this bit, but we've decided we're going to do it. It's about 600 wide section, just straight. That end, there'll be a little bit, but it basically, as you can see from this line, it works its way into the ground there, so we can curve off and go over there when we want to.
Yeah, we thought it was higher than it actually is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it was going to be, because we were going to carry on up, but then we're not, and then we changed. Plans change. Anyway, we've obviously concrete in here, but to do that we need a retaining wall. I have dug this morning this section out, because we're going to put a concrete foundation in here. It's not as deep as we normally do, which I might regret later, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere because this ground hole is actually going to come up most of the way up the block anyway, and then it's going to have concrete in here and you'll be screws and things to tie it all together, so I don't think it'll go anywhere.
It's not exactly a weight bearing wall.
No, it's not going to have a lot. So yeah, so concrete foundation there, wall, breeze blocks. This one at the end will be on a bit of a skew. In fact, the last two will be in a bit of a skew because I'm widening out from this wooden bit that I've modified and put in here out to the 600, but that's because the lines are narrowing up there as they converge. So yeah, concrete wall, block wall up to here, and then from there we're just going to shutter it and fill it all in with concrete at a later date. And then the back will also be shuttered. How far we'll get that way, I'm not sure. There's a little bit of concrete to take out, but that's kind of the plan for here. So concrete in here today, possibly wall in tomorrow, then that bit's done. Obviously I need to do some bits and pieces over this side as well to get all that done and stained, ready, but yeah, that's where we're at. So we're going to get the cement mixer set up, mix load for this, see how much I've got left because I am running short on sand and gravel, and see if we can get a little bit done over there at the same time if we can, and then
yeah, well,
clean the cement bricks and put it all back away again.
We didn't only do this bit behind us the other day. We did do filling all of this. So
we did a fair amount.
That's why it got dark on us, really.
Yeah.
Because we sort of didn't count on the fact that sunset's a bit earlier now.
Yeah. And I have now taken out the support for the bridge.
Yes.
So I left the temporary support in, but I needed the length of wood that was because I'm a bit short on length lats to go on here. So that actually came out, but that's nice and sturdy. That's not going to go anywhere. So I just need to do my tile adhesive mix onto here, which I might do today if I haven't got other things to do. We shall see how I get on. Although I'm only going to be able to do it around to there, so we'll see. I might get this bit done sooner because that'll actually allow you to come up the railway and turn round, whereas all this is going to take a lot longer. Right, set the cement mixer up, get some concrete done.
So we've got a little bit more concreting added on here that just used up the bit of concrete we had left, and then we've got foundation in over here, which wasn't too bad to do.
Yeah.
Down in a hole, but the string was annoying.
Well, I could have taken that away, but I just didn't.
And then you've been busy over here.
I've made a wooden wall.
A wooden wall. Yeah.
That's what it sort of looks like. So
That's what it is.
we're
really.
coming round. Well, it is, yeah. We're coming obviously straight into here, but we will need to come round this corner. And I was just going to cast that straight and then worry about this later, but actually I might as well do it all in one go. So I have to get a nice curve on the front, but not a curve that relates to that, which I'll explain in a minute why, with shuttering. And so because I had a load of the wooden lats left from when we took out the loop at the front here, I've put those in here, just bang them into the ground.
I can show quite.
A couple of them I had to cut because I'd hit a fairly large concrete lump down in the ground. I didn't fancy digging all that out just to put my things in, so it's gone in. And on the back of it, I've got a bit of all-round band just screwed to them just to keep it all together so that it's nice and strong when the concrete goes against it. I've left a tab out of that end which will connect to the bit of shuttering that goes straight down here and link it all together is the sort of thinking there.
That's a very difficult place for me to get to with a camera.
Yes, it is right in the corner, isn't it? So
there we go.
So yeah, so here we've got, so down the station area we've got 3 tracks, but this front one here is going to be a siding only. The other 2 are going to continue round this corner and link up just behind me here. And so I want to ideally have both those on a 4-foot radius. So I've got my sort of rough radius stick.
Almost 4-foot radius stick, yeah.
And if I'm going to place that sort of roughly in there. So these posts are where we're working to, because you don't want to work in this hollow here and then run into a post, and you certainly don't want to cut it out. So we're 75mm off there, and then 150mm from that track to this track, although these are converging here, so I'm not too fussed if it gets tighter here because they're going into a point anyway. But that gives me the distance there, and then that's why this front wall here isn't basically a radius to this, because actually this one is following the second track, so that's furthest track back, and roughly there is your middle track here, but your inside track here, and so it's actually following that curve.
Everybody follow that?
A little bit of a jog there.
It'll make sense once this thing's down.
Yeah. So this is actually, all these are set at the height of the concrete, and then down here I'm going to do a bit of fasciating on the concrete blocks and shuttering and things, because obviously we want that to hide away. That will come later. But by this point here, this slate's probably going to be high enough that you won't really see it anyway. So I'm not fussed about having to make this sharp joint work, because the ground level will be there. We will then want to we need to decide if we're going to concrete right into the corner or leave a bit out. I'm thinking of leaving a bit out in the corner. We might get a plant in there. It just depends how much light it gets in this corner, but if you can get up, climb up the fence, hide the fence a little bit, that'd be nice, and get some light. So yeah, that's that bit done. So we're waiting on that concrete drying, and then we are heading this way onto this loop. So if I come round here, so this is the old loop from the original line, and the plan with this is to take this curve off here, cut it basically where that point is, because I'm not 100% sure if this is a 4-foot radius, but it's heading the wrong direction anyway, so I don't want it. And straight through and onto where they're bringing the level line up will be our main line. This little loop here that's a lot tighter radius will be just a way you can turn around if you're coming the wrong way out that station. So yeah, so we'll need to cut this, and then this has to be dug down into, which is where I'm basically digging this trench here. But there's lots of previous concrete
posts
and things from old fences and all sorts down this bit, so yeah, it's going to be tricky digging. Things have progressed somewhat in this area, well in fact, and in quite a large area over there as well. Yep, we've been putting concrete down. Now, to allow us to put concrete down, what we haven't actually filmed, because we've been doing this between rain showers, because we've now got to the part in the year where there's quite a lot of rain about, which is good, because we've had none this year, but it's sort of come all at once, is we built a wall at the front here, which is what we put the foundation in on the last bit of stuff we sort of filmed. So, wall comes in along till here as we did the foundation, and then we've shuttered, and the shuttering will be coming off basically this afternoon for the rest of the concreting in. So all this concrete and the big pad you've just seen over there, and plus a few other little bits, we actually did with a cement truck that came, mixed it on site, volumetric load, and did it, because to do the big pad over there with us mixing it was just going to take far too long, need far too much materials, and mean we either didn't have enough or we'd get too much off. It'd just be a yeah. So it was far easier to use a local company who could come and just do that. And we thought, might as well get a bit of the railway done at the same time. So that's how we've done this bit. So yeah, so this is going to be the station repairs we've talked about. This morning I've come out and laid the track out. Now I already did this actually off camera on the ground to sort of give me an idea of how this was all going to work, but now I've got it up on here, I am marking out. So you will see there is various lines down. Normally we would mark these lines actually in the concrete when it was part set in, but we just forgot, to be honest, to do that or have the time the day that we set this. So I've done it with a Sharpie, an old Sharpie, which is obviously good because it does knacker it. Yeah. But yeah, I discussed 3 lines on here and a few sidings and a very special point, which we'll talk about in a second.
Can you class that as a point?
Many points. So basically I've set all this out, got all my lines marked down, because my next job now is to put the tile adhesive mix stuff that I put down that gives me the ridges, so that it smooths out all of the top surface basically, and then I can sand it off and make it all smooth and easier to put the track on like I've shown before. So yeah, let's talk about then this very special point that I have acquired here, which is a double slip point. Now this came off a friend of mine's railway when he's decided to take part of his up, and I actually said I'd quite like this double slip because I always remember running over this double slip on his, and I think it's a fantastic piece of engineering. So I knew I wanted to put it somewhere, and this seems like a great place for it. And so to go over what a double slip actually is, now this one needs a little bit of work, so we'll have to hold it down in places because obviously it was fixed down, so now it's removed, it's a little bit suspect. But if I put it into the
camera to actually
that.
show it.
So to start with, it's just a crossing. We're coming down this line and we're going down there, or we're going straight across there. However, if I move this, 4 point blades move, and you can now come down this line and go out this line, or come down this line and go out that line. So basically it then becomes 2 points or a straight through crossing. And the reason I'm using it here is because this back line coming in this direction will be the running line, coming either in that way or running down here, depending which direction we end up running this section. And you can then come in, and this line here and this line here will both be somewhere you can stop, but you can get out at each end. Or if you're a really long train, you can actually park all the way across the double slip in one big long line, not on the double line, on the running line. Or if you're coming, say, up this way, you can come across here, go all the way across it and get into this spot here, back into this siding. Or if you've got a train that's stopped on the running line here, you can bypass it and go out that way and get out. You've so many options basically by having this in. But the idea is that it allows you to either bypass one that's on the running line, or get out the way of one on the running line, or one that's stopped here, and splits up this one massive loop here. So yeah, it's going to take a little bit of getting down is this, because if I do my tile adhesive mix, because it's on this fiberglass board to sort of hold it all together, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get that quite right on there, so I might have to sand this bit out a little bit more. But I'll put probably thin bits down and then work it out and then get that fixed down. Then once it's all ballasted in, you won't see any of this bud. But that will take a little bit of time because I don't like to ballast straight away in case things don't work. So yeah, basically next jobs are to put the tyre adhesive mix down and get some of the shuttering off. Whether I'll get the one down the back off, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping I will. But it's not the end of the world if I can't get it out.
Is it attached to the fence?
No. Well, it is from the top.
Oh, okay.
I've tried to make the fixings all come from the top, apart from obviously like going into the pegs, but the pegs might just come up out of the ground. We shall see. I tried to make it removable. But there you go. So yeah, so we've got that bit, and a bit done behind the camera, but we've also done...
Try and show it.
Yeah, which is where the other end of the point is.
Yes, because there's the other
This
point.
section. But then there's also a bit, which we'll go and show you in a second, over here. So, the loop. I've sort of started to dig it in. The only problem is with all this rain and the fact I'm now digging in pretty boggy, clayey, khaki soil around here that's been under all this slate for all these years. It is like working in a bog. So I'm doing this bit at a time, especially as in the morning it's under shade, as you can see by the fence, so it doesn't dry out very quick. So this I'll do as and when I can, basically. But I dug this back piece down because this is split into two, just so that I could get levels correct for doing that piece of concrete and a little bit of concrete just here where we've extended because we had a bit more from the truck left over there.
You'll have to believe me, it goes under the bush.
Under the bush and all that section there. So that's coming in, that point has to go in there. Next job really is I've just got to dig a little bit more out of here, and to avoid the ski slope issue here, a little bit more out there.
What do you mean you don't want to go on a jump?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a problem if you're coming that way.
It is a little bit,
yeah.
Admittedly.
This is about, I think, the right level for it, and I think this side is actually at the right level for it.
It's just not meeting in the
Across
middle.
there, it's just these two bits down
Yeah.
and down. And then, at some point, I've got to dig this middle bit out because we've got a big black tub that's going to go in here and be a bit of wildlife pond in the middle.
A second pond.
Yes.
There's not going to be fish in this one though, unless they magically get themselves in there.
No, this is just... I mean, it's already basically a pond around here, let's face it. Looking underneath here, it's wet. Rained a lot yesterday.
It didn't stop, it rained all day yesterday.
Yeah.
It didn't stop at all.
So yeah, so we're going to fix this down, which we'll do a bit of footage on how I'm planning on doing this. But for now, I'm just going to leave this because it just needs to dry out, if it can in autumn. So I can get this in, and I'm going to concentrate on that bit over there. So I'm going to go do that. Well, a little bit of Rob Cam today because I am out here on my own while doing other jobs and bits and pieces work related. I'm also putting a bit of track down. So you saw the other day I managed to get to here. Well, I've now put a load of plugs and screws all the way up there, all the way to where the guards went at the end. And if we come over here, I've got just a temporary bit of track here, but this one's fixed down, and that one's all fixed down, and another temporary bit of track there, which means I'm able to test the double slip. So, guards fan here, you'll have to excuse this terrible filming while I try and film and demonstrate at the same time. So currently, double slip is set to go straight through like a crossing. Just like that. Stuff everywhere to do this. But if I bring it back, and if I now try and give you an overhead view of changing it, there you go, we're now set to go from this line to here, or this line to here. So if I push the guards fan through through she goes. So yeah, there's the double slip in place. Now I haven't actually fixed it yet, so it's only held basically on this fixing and this fixing, so this edge here isn't fixed down and this edge here isn't fixed down. But I'm almost tempted, once I've got these in, to leave it like that, because that might make it easier for getting it in and out, because no doubt I'm going to have to maintain this, and maintaining it on the bench is going to be a lot easier when there's that many solder joints to try and repair. So there you go. I will continue putting plugs and screws in. So next bit I'm probably going to do is this connection, which then gets me that one all done, and then it's all the ones around there, and I'm probably going to get the back one in first there, all the way around, before I then do this inside one, because then I can work off the back one to make sure the inside one clears basically as far as possible. It's going to come around to here, and then this one right here is going to be the dead easy one, because that's just a siding, so that just goes straight. There you go, one double slip. So I have just cut this piece to go in here, which that form needs to go in, but I wanted to show you how I'm connecting this. So this double slip is actually on 10mm Pico rail, which means you probably can't see the profile, but it's bullhead rail, so it's larger at the bottom. It doesn't have a flat bottom like Pico. And so to connect these two together, I'm not able to use the standard fish plates, such as the ones that I'm using over here. Instead I am using larger ones, which, if I can pull this off here, this is a I think it's one for G scale 45mm Pico track. We'll put the code up for it there. Thank you, editor. Quite a few people are actually using these now for connecting normal SM32 rail, because they're quite a bit stronger than the really thin ones that you normally use. And I mean, I haven't been. I don't know, I'm slightly sort of against the look of them, although I think they're slightly on the large side, but they are definitely stronger. There is no doubt about that. They are slightly slack, or at least these ones. These are probably second hand. In fact, I know they're second hand on the rail, but you probably can just pinch them up a little bit, badly as I just did there, but should probably not be able to do one-handed to tighten them up. It is getting slightly tighter, but yeah, it definitely solves the problem of going between 10mm bullhead rail and Pico. So if you've got a load of mixed track, especially if you're second hand and you're getting it, which is the best way to do it, is you can use these and you can convert between, and it's pretty much the correct height. You might just have to file it slightly, but no track's perfect. So there you go, there's a little tip. And we are to here. Well, actually, we're to this loop, because we need to get this in before I can pull that bit of track down. So that's going to be the task now. I have cut a load of sort of pegs, which these are going to go under the, you can't really see it here, but there's the two ladder frame rails underneath this, and that's the size of block that is currently in it, so these will just slot up inside there and act as pegs like that. And then we are going to put back section in and then the front section in, and we've got pegs sort of sat around to do all of that. And the idea is to sort of bang that down and get that level, but on the slope that we need. There.
Level's relative around here.
Yeah. And then obviously getting then this extra bit of looping as well. And then we can start then packing the soil back round it, down these edges and things, to fill all that in, and that should then sit in place. Then I can mix a little bit of concrete just to fill in this this end to get you from there to here. So we've got to do all of that.
Is this post here meant to have a spike on the end of it like the others?
This post here meant to have a spike on it.
This one right in front of you.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, it does. Ah, that didn't look like it did from my angle. Oh, that's very spooky.
It has a spike. Some are just like that. Some are
four-sided.
Pyramid shaped like that. I got slightly bored of cutting very slowly with the saw because it chews it up, and so that's what we've got. Hopefully that it will just go in a hole. It might not, but that is my sort of idea. I want it to go in the hole enough that it will just stop it from moving, and then packing it round will stop it up and down. Is the theory. Right, we shall set the camera up and attempt to do this, and we need to set the string line up so that we know where we're going. So I'll go find that.
As you can see, there is a little gnome digging in the soil.
Right, we're doing the fishing trick again here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised you're not fishing. But
Not sure I'm going to catch a lot other than
no, mud.
a lump of mud.
But
Guaranteed to catch one of them.
the loop is in.
Whew! Yeah, that took a bit more than I thought.
The battery ran out on the camera, so we didn't get everything on a time lapse. But
I sort of expected it to just sink those posts into the
it did not
into
sink.
the ground. I mean, there was like a couple over there that I think would have done.
Yeah, that like this.
They were quite squelchy.
That one there, I think, about there and here, maybe did. The rest.
But as you got closer to the road and things here in the front, these ones did not. So they needed a bit of persuasion with the big bar to make a hole, and as you probably saw, in and out numerous times.
Yeah.
And we're pretty certain now. Just remove a bit of crap off there, since I've seen it. That we are now correct. We've put the straight edge and the level across.
Yep, across it.
To make sure that we are level, because we want to be level across that way, but on a slope down towards you with the camera. So we've checked it here, we think we're right. So now what I've done is I've gone round the edge and I've tried to, basically dug out the middle and pushed it round the edge, which is what this bit of wood is for. I've then done around the outside edge as well.
Yeah, I can sort of show that down here.
Yeah. Tucked the weed suppression stuff in and then put the slate back on top. So slate's going to have to be a bit more brought round and things and walked over a bit and get it all to flatten out like it should be, but that's sort of where I want it there. Now what I'm currently doing is the harder side, which is down this back edge here, because I didn't dig as much out down here. So I'm now just trying to pack some soil in down the back end, so you'll get a bit like that where it'll just disappear. If I can line up my stick correctly. And then put a little bit more down in there.
Yes, it's so clayey.
Yeah,
and
well
claggy.
It's been raining a lot. All that rain that we haven't had over summer has now all arrived. Now we're into September, October.
It's been a bit wet.
It's all turned up, and so it's gone a bit muddy. But sort of keep putting as much as I can there without it all coming onto the track. And I'm gonna, well, the rain, because of course it will rain again.
The rain will help pack it down, yeah.
Water it down on the track, so I'm not too concerned about some bits on the track.
Oh yes, there is a bit the rain needs to clean off the track. I mean, I've cleaned the point out at the far end because that wouldn't even change.
No.
But that was partly moss rather than soil.
Sort of in like that, and then I can go along again get some more in that end, but
yeah, I'll show. We've put while you're doing that.
yeah,
We've put the bolts in, but they aren't actually got a nut on the other end. They're more locating pins than anything else. But that's just locating it, and we've actually put fish plates on it, as it's not intending to come apart as two pieces anymore.
For those very long time viewers, the removable loop that we had at the old line is now definitely not removable.
I mean, we never took it out of the old one either, because we realised we could get both cars on the drive.
After a few times we decided we could leave it in, but
it technically, that's why it's in two pieces, is it was meant to be half of it was removable.
Yeah.
But I think after about the third or fourth time of taking it out, we realised we couldn't be bothered anymore and the cars fit on the drive. So it was a little bit pointless, maybe. Oh, look at that.
Move a bit of that back because I sort of shoved it underneath while
It is going to be quite a job to get that pond in the middle of there.
Oh, she'll go in there. Yeah, no problem that.
Yeah, we just have to find somewhere to put a load of soil.
Yeah.
That's not even good quality soil.
Just have to dig another hole. And I can put it in there. It's easy.
But where do you put the soil that you dug out the hole?
Oh, it goes in another hole.
Yeah.
You're not getting it, are you? It just goes in another hole.
You daft sod. Well, we'll bring you back when it's all packed round, I think.
That's it, I'm done.
What about this bit? Oh, I suppose you can't do this bit over here.
That bit has to be concreted.
Yeah. Oh, because there's a bit of concrete down here.
Yeah.
There's a sort of hole.
Yes. Bit of concrete there. But that's probably future.
Yeah, because we're going to have to cut and work out how we're going to join into this bit of track.
I've got to just zip a bit off of there.
And replace part of the track with a point and hope it still all lines up.
And run it through.
Isn't that right?
Oh, it'll all line up. It's all... Yeah. And then you see I'm just going to do that bit there. Yeah.
And you're about an inch taller at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, there does seem like quite a lot to dig out of here, but it's because I've broken it up a bit to try and get it to dry a bit quicker. Because it is meant to be sort of dry tomorrow morning, possibly a bit of rain in the evening. So if I can get this a little bit drier tomorrow, I will shift it, because I don't really want to bower it about when it's like this, because it just clangs to absolutely everything. Shovels, spades, barrow, me,
anything.
Mostly me. So if it's a bit drier, I'll shift it, and then we'll slowly get down. Then once we've sort of formed a bit of a pond shape, we'll put some of the sand in round to sit it on, just to protect that a little bit.
Yeah, like we did with the other pond way back in a number episode, I don't know. Yeah. But it's an early episode.
Yeah. And then it'll sit in there, and I'm going to have it sort of up a little bit and maybe bank the sides. I'll see.
Yeah, the pond doesn't have to sit down. Yeah, it doesn't have to sit down flush.
Again, I'd like to get it sort of flush. Ideally, would be my ideal. I'd like to get it flush. But and I am slightly concerned the fact that this ain't really going to have an overflow. But then we're not necessarily going to have this full. It's probably going to fill in winter, but we're not going to fill this one and keep it full, because it's sort of a wildlife one. It will go up and down. So I'm not. And there's plenty of place around here to dissipate. I don't think the track will go anywhere, because it took a fair amount of weight to push it down into that position, so I don't think it will move.
This ground is so compacted that I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Well, that then means that the water won't go somewhere, but it'll dissipate. It'll all be good. Right, there we go. I'll keep breaking this up a bit, I think. So, down here in this little corner.
Oh, I'm far too close.
Let me move this first. Things have. Probably have you even got my head in it?
No.